It is a life. Well, you know what? I want the answer on the record, Ms. Bass. I want the answer for the American people, because to all of us, my party that was impugned, we actually think that unborn life is a child and that there is a liberty interest there that is worthy of our defense and our protection and the values that undergird the American Constitution.
Welcome to the Bald Brad Show. In this episode, we have Matt Gaetz going up against two pro-abortion Democrats during a House hearing. This is one you are not going to want to miss, folks. As always, if you want to join us here at the Bald Brad Show, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Not only would you be supporting conservative, but you would be supporting conservative thought and ideas getting out there to new viewers who haven't seen our content or our channel, so your help would be greatly appreciated. With that being said, let's jump right into the clip.
I want to thank the gentlelady from Texas for spending time with me yesterday to go over some of the provisions of the bill, and I left that discussion with the perspective that the bill was silent on the matter of abortion and really was about helping pregnant women in prison. But this debate has me quite confused, and particularly the last
Gentleman
speaker.
yield.
No, Mr. Chairman, you weren't the one who created my confusion, so I'm gonna ask Ms. Ross a question if she would yield for a colloquy with me. Because Ms. Ross said that this bill was great for reproductive freedom.
The underlying bill and its bipartisan nature are great for women's reproductive freedom.
And I would like to know how, if you'd be willing.
That is a great question, because if he's having some confusion here with what the bill's stating and then what the actual true implications are of it, and they're talking about abortion with that, he is in every right to ask this type of question, because the progressive left and Democrat Party lump in reproductive rights, reproductive health care in with abortion, which has never made sense to me. Whether you're pro-abortion or pro-choice or whatever, you're not reproducing anything. You're destroying something in terms of abortion. So that never made sense to me in terms of reproductive health care. I love this question. Let's see how she answers.
Mr. Gaetz, it's great for reproductive freedom because it respects when women want to have a child, that they get the care that they need and they are not abused.
In your mind, does it also respect their wish to not have a child?
It doesn't speak to that issue, but reproductive freedom also involves women who choose to have children and want to have those children under the best possible circumstance, free of abuse.
So it's not your contention then that the bill makes it easier for women in prison to have an abortion?
Mr. Gaetz.
Why don't you ask me? I'm not.
Mr. Gaetz, I think what you should do, if you want to address this to Ms. Bass, you can.
I'm here.
But women who want to have their babies need to be able to do it free of abuse and with support. And unfortunately, your party doesn't always want to give women who want to have those children that support. And I do not yield to any further questions from you at this time.
Of course she doesn't. You know how she just takes that jab at Republicans? And again, it just goes to show you Democrats and progressive left have no clue in what Republicans and conservatives believe. They just pretend and shout a bunch of hocus pocus BS stuff to the sky and hope that it lands, just shooting aimlessly to see whatever will hit without it ever making sense. And when questions get a little bit tough or someone kind of pokes them a little bit on their arguments, on their belief system, they go around, they'll make a statement at you, they'll call you a name, or they'll take a jab like Miss Ross did here, and then they won't take any more questions because things got a little bit tough, and they want to protect themselves because their whole belief system, their whole outlook and reality might shatter based on the line of questioning that's being asked. So we'll see how this continues here with Matt Gaetz.
Pardon me, it's my time.
Yes,
and I'm asking questions of the person who created a great deal of confusion by saying that this matter was for the reproductive freedom of women. And I appreciate her yielding to a few questions that I think clarified that point. If the gentlelady would yield to another clarifying question, and I'm not here to make a partisan argument, I'm here to understand the effect of the bill and what you're talking about in support of the bill. You used the phrase unborn child in your most recent debate.
Pregnant inmates frequently face inhumane treatment that puts them and their unborn children in danger.
What does that phrase mean to you?
Good question as well.
Ms. Bass would like to answer your questions.
Well, then she can strike the
I
last
am
word.
finished with you right now, and I do not yield.
So that's telling, right? I mean,
don't
I'm
you
just
guys
here trying to
quit?
get answers to questions. You, Miss Bass, you didn't use the words that were confusing. So I'm not going
Thank
to yield to
you.
you.
And it is
I'm
my
not-
bill.
But you didn't use the words in description of it.
And
that were
guess
confusing.
why?
It was Miss Ross who used those words.
Well,
And if I
so
want to ask
what?
questions to Miss Ross, she could choose whether or not to yield to give the answers. But you
Well, that's-
covering
but
for
you're not
her,
really
she
interested
doesn't
in
know
the
the words
answers.
she
You're
uses,
just
and
interested
cannot
in the
in the
theater.
Judiciary Committee sit and answer the questions
You
on something
answer
as
the
important as
question-
life or death when
Mr.
I
Gaetz
control
is-
the time is outrageous.
Are you done?
I'm
with
done
your
when my
theater?
time's done. And when
It's
I'm
Mr.
done,
Gaetz's
you can
time.
yield those. You can yield for those questions. But it's crazy that in this committee, when I'm trying to get honest answers to questions about the effect of the bill,
We don't want
whether or not it
honest
paves the way to abortions, that you all want to sit up there and squawk at me rather than allow me to ask questions. When you have the time, you can control the time. How about that? But these are fair questions. She used the phrase unborn child.
This is
I would like to
theater.
know what that means to her, because what it means
Then
to
ask her
us
on a break.
is that it is a life.
Time
But
is
you know what? I want the answer on the record, Miss Bass. I want the answer for the American people, because to all of us, my party that was impugned, we actually think that unborn life is a child, and that there is a liberty interest there that is worthy of our defense and our protection and the values that undergird the American Constitution. I don't think that's too unreasonable. And by the way, if you use a phrase in this committee, you shouldn't have to have a senior member answer the questions for you. You should be able to answer those questions yourself. And if not, I think it speaks to the credibility of the debate that is offered.
Damn! Oh man, even the guy to the right with them is going, damn. Democrats can't compete, folks, with facts and logic and true reality. This is what happens when you mess with the Republican. This is what happens when you mess with the conservatives, is you just get torn down all the way down to the ground, Ben Shapiro style. Matt Gaetz laid into both of them, of which they can answer, but it's all theater, right? Everything that Matt Gaetz is doing here is just all theater, not speaking up for his constituents, not speaking up for his party. It's just all theater to them, but they don't want to answer the questions. And he looked genuine there in his line of questioning. You could tell when Matt Gaetz is trying to poke and prod and kind of just create theater himself. He's very good at it. So is Marjorie Taylor Greene when they're together. They know how to publicize something. They know what they're doing. Here, I could tell 100% he's being genuine, because look, if he really does care, he wants to help women out. He wants to help reproductive health with women as well, as do a lot of Republicans and conservatives. So if they're going to sit here and trot out all this BS in terms of unborn abortion and try to embed that within the bill, and he votes upon it, then he's screwed here in terms of his constituents, because that's not really what they would want, as well as his own party. So a lot of great line of questioning done by Matt Gaetz here. Let's see the follow-up.
So I'll yield, Ms. Bass. I got 50 seconds.
Thank you. I would like for us to vote on the amendment.
Oh, God.
I think the bill is clear. The rest of this discussion is theater. I would like to vote on the amendment.
Well,
Can we
is
vote
it-
on the amendment, Mr. Chair?
She doesn't even answer the question. She's the one that goes, oh, why don't you just ask me? I offered the bill. I made it. I wrote the thing. Why don't you just ask me? So he's giving you an opportunity to answer the question about the term unborn, of which you're not even answering. So this is what they do, right? It's kind of like when you get in an argument with somebody, and I know we're all of you have been at in terms of arguments, because we've always been through this, where somebody says something and then you just completely destroy them, and they kind of go, oh, okay, sure. That's like what happened here, right? She can't answer anything. She just completely got destroyed. She got shellacked. Now she goes, can we just vote on the thing? Is everybody with me? She's a fake politician, doesn't know a damn thing, watches her own area go down in the dumpster, and she's going to sit there and talk like she's on freaking moral high ground with everything. I wrote the bill. Why don't you just ask me? It's not in there. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm not going to answer the question. What a bunch of hubbub.
I tell you what, Ms. Bass, reclaiming my time. We'll vote when we're damn well ready and when we're done answering our questions.
Oh, you chair the committee now?
No, we have rights in the minority to utilize time under the 5-minute rule.
That's right,
to be able
baby.
to offer our perspective on matters. And we're sorry if you all are in such a rush to kill unborn life that you're unwilling to answer our questions. But you know what? The good news is, with the Supreme Court we currently have, this is now a pro-life country, and we've got all the time in the world for that. I yield back. I want to thank the gentleman from Texas.
That's what I'm talking about. Matt Gaetz laying down the law in pro-life, pro-liberty, pro-rights, baby. And just the Democrats are left speechless, quite literally, because they couldn't answer a damn thing. Granted, Miss Ross answered that first question pretty well. And like Matt Gaetz said, it cleared up a lot of the issues of the debate that were stated, but she didn't talk about the unborn and truly what she meant by it. You have Karen Bass, who is, again, just a terrible, terrible politician. I authored it, doesn't want to answer it, but you got Matt Gaetz stepping up for the Republican Party, stepping up for the unborn, stepping up for the pro-life movement to make a freaking point here that there are liberties at interest here, and not just liberties, but he's speaking on behalf of the American people. As always, folks, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you tomorrow here for the Ball Brad Show.